This is mis426 presentation for the final project, Stefan goian. And the project itself consists of a time portal application, which has a MySQL database backend composed of 6 tables. The application basically captures entries for employees, time entries. It starts with a login screen, which uses the database to authenticate the user. If the credentials are incorrect, you get taken to an error page, which allows you to go back to login. And the only user at the database right now is Homer Simpson. These are his login credentials. Login. So a couple of things about the main page. As you notice, the first panel here allows the user to see what time entries they've had for this week. There is a method which calculates the week range, sets a date, calculates the start of the week and the end of the week, considered Sunday to be the beginning of the week, and the end of the week is going to be Saturday, so 26th for this week, for instance. This is dynamic. And it also reads every entry from the entries table in the database, which would be here. There's only 2 entries right now. Now the user can also submit an entry for either one of the projects. So say for instance the 21st, being today. Select the role as business analyst for Project Delphi. 3 hours. Then there's also a section where it allows the user to enter notes specific to that time entry. And once the user submits the entry, it does a post back to that specific page. With displaying the result of the last entry. The site is also responsive. It's been built using Bootstrap, which allows the user to seamlessly log in using a mobile device as well as a desktop computer. You'll see here that it's capturing one of the variables used in the session. I'll show you exactly where it is. The username attribute, and it renders it on the page, allowing the user to see that they're signed in as themselves. That basically constitutes it. As far as the application itself, you cannot reach because it is using sessions. You cannot reach unless you actually log in and use the proper credentials. One more thing to add. there is an insert servlet which inserts every entry into the table and uses a couple of different methods to convert parameters from string. For example, entry dates. Java's entry or date handling is not exactly the ideal one. A lot easier to do in PHP, but it allows the URL parameter to be converted to a simple date format and being parsed into a date, which can then be used or parsed into a SQL date, so it can be inserted into the database. And that is basically the project.